Okay, everybody, I'm coming around. All right, I have to start again now because I thought I paused it and I actually stopped it. Anyway, and I was coughing and I had to go get a bottle of water. All right, let me get a drink. I didn't even get a drink. Long time no see. Got a little bit of orange and blue on here, and I've got my Halloween necklace on. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know which one of those cameras. I've got like 3 of them. So, got a little witch on it. Anyway, and I got a little tight, but I have to tighten it up to get it above the V. And then it comes up here and the fat rolls on my neck cover up the cord. Yeah, it's also attractive. All right, here we go. It's been a while. I've been having some testing done. I've had a lot of stuff happen. I've been back to my cardiologist. I've been to a podiatrist for my bunion. Nothing there. Get back to the cardiologist. And then I had an appointment with an ENT about my phantom smells. I forget what phantosmia or something. It's got this really phantosmia. But anyway, it's a thing. And I told him when I got it during COVID, how long I've had it since I had COVID in 2022. And he said, well, the bad news is you probably always have it. I said, great. I love to smell stinky ass when you're trying to eat. Anyway, I can smell other things. It's just that I'll be sitting there not supposed to be smelling anything, and I can smell these awful things. Sometimes it's overpoweringly sweet or smells good, like somebody mixed candy and perfume together, and it's not always it sounds like a great thing, but it isn't. Anyway, he said I could order one of those kits where you retrain your smell. He said it's not guaranteed to work, but some people have had success. I said, okay, I don't want something else to be wrong in there. And it just happened to coincide whenever I got COVID. He said, I agree. I said, I think you ought to take a look in there. He said, I agree. So in the office, he did the camera up my nose, and I got to watch up my nose. Anyway, he said, got a slightly deviated septum, but I don't see a problem. He said, do you have sleep apnea? And I said, no, because I had my sleep apnea test, and I do not have sleep apnea. So, anyway, gonna do an MRI, and that's, I don't know what the day is. That's on Tuesday, the 28th. So I'm gonna have an MRI just to make sure there's nothing growing up inside there. Like, it's not a tumor. Anyway, yeah, Kindergarten Cop. That was one of his best movies. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. Back to the cardiologist stuff. They got the results from me wearing my heart monitor for 2 weeks, which they call a Holter monitor. And I have arrhythmia, which means at times my heart beats way faster than it's supposed to. Like sometimes, I forget how many incidents they record. 8 incidences, I think, of where my heart was beating like 180 some beats a minute. But it was only for 3 seconds, so they averaged it out. And then it was like 13 instances where my heart was beating 122 beats a minute for like 14 seconds. And my blood pressure had been creeping up, so they put me on medication for that. And right now, my husband and I are actually taking identical prescription and the identical dosage at this moment, which is, if anybody's wanting to know, it's metoprolol, 25 milligram. They prescribe it for tachycardia, and they prescribe it for high blood pressure. I'm hoping it'll take care of both those things. And they prescribe it for migraine headaches. So yesterday I had a pounding headache, so apparently it's not a migraine. But so that has been going on. I've been taking the medication for 10 days, And I don't know if last night I just got sick or if it finally built up in my system enough. I only take it once a day. It's time release. But I was not well last night. And um, one of the side effects is, I know you're just going to love this. Aren't you just going to love this whenever I talk about, my, large intestine and colon, which I'm supposed to have a colonoscopy too. Because when I described to him, he said, that doesn't sound good. I think we ought to go up in there and take a look. I'm glad he's looking forward to it. But one of the side effects of metoprolol is the one that I got. It is diarrhea. And so last night, I know you guys are just going to say, I can't believe we don't hear from her for 2 months and she comes on here and talks about farting and burping. Well, that's exactly what it was making me doing, but it also makes me do the other thing. Okay, that's it. Up to speed on that. I don't know how much time I've used on my phone because I have it turned around to where I cannot see, and I don't know. Anyway, I think I will pick you up and take you and show you one of the things that I did that was one of my projects. I was bound and determined to clean up in my yard, and I was bound and determined to take some of the brick that they used. They ordered all the, not brick, block, cement blocks. Is it cement with no rocks or is it concrete with no rocks? Anyway, you know what a concrete block is, or cement block. Anyway, they ordered this whole pallet because to build a retaining wall, or a carport needed a retaining wall, and I said, why did you order so many? Well, it's cheaper when you get a whole pallet of them. And I think what they actually think is that you're going to say, oh, okay, well, I don't want them, so you can just go ahead and have them. Didn't happen. I said, nope. And I also don't want them where you've got them right now. You're going to have to take them all into the backyard. Had to carry all of them back with, a hand truck them all the way back in my yard and made them restack it on the pallet. There was a huge amount of them. What I did was I dry stacked myself a fire pit. So whenever I cleaned up my side yard, which had not been cleaned in 2 years, because I remember depression. I was at depression because all this stuff was going wrong with me, which I'm finally getting taken care of. But anyway, so when I cleaned up my side yard, I could, which is another, it's a whole funny story about the side yard cleanup. But when I cleaned it all up, I'd have a place to illegally burn it in my backyard because you're not supposed to burn yard waste. What the hell do they think you're going to burn back there in a fire pit? You're allowed to have a fire pit. You're just not allowed to put dead branches and stuff in it. What do they think a log is? It's a dead tree. It's an overgrown branch. Anyway, I digress. Would you like to see my fire pit? I can pick you up and take you there and show you out the window. I'm just going to pick this up like this. I'm going to cover you up because I don't want you seeing all of my mess. But I will show you my dirty windows when I take you out here and show you where I built my fire pit. It's right there. See that? And my backyard was a mess because the guy, when he trimmed my tree, that tree right there, he threw everything down there underneath the pine tree. So I had to clean all that up. And see that pallet right there? That is the pallet that still has blocks on it. And we had an old Weber grill. Boy, my window, oh no, that's just fogging up from my fingers. It's cold here. And my window is dirty. But we had an old Weber grill, the legs rusted off of it. So that's what we always burned in. So what I did was when I did the fire pit, I made it to where the Weber would fit in there. Or I can take it out if I don't want to just burn in the thing. So there you go. That's one of the projects I did. Okay, back to not looking at my horrible messy house. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get you back where I had you. Yeah, there we go. All right. Is that where I had you? I don't know. Gotta look. Yeah, kind of. I think I could turn you this way a little bit. All right. Anyway, all right. And so that's one of the things I was up to. Anyway, so back in September, I feel like I'm the other way just a little bit further. Yeah, I'm just this way too. Let's go this way. All right. So back in September, I started making something for Halloween, and it was these little purses that I was going to fill with, put some candy in it, and I started making these, the little covered notebooks, mini composition books. And then all of a sudden, I went, I'm done. And I started 12 of these. This one's for people who want Halloween candy but aren't really interested in, too much Halloween stuff. I had all this stuff. Anyway, this is one of my favorites right here. But, so I literally have 12 of these made. They're all back there. And I have these two here. I think these were the last two that I worked on. And so I am working on those. I have to finish those. I'm actually going to work on them today after I'm done here. I do want to show you my friend Robin, who is, I always forget the name. She doesn't make videos, but you have to make a channel to comment. She doesn't make videos, and she really should. Well, I get this package from Robin. And paper, tape, and ink. I don't know. I always forget. Anyway, I'll have to look on that. She wrote it on the card. Anyway, she wrapped it in this paper, and she cut out the little, I'm covering up our addresses. She cut out the ghost and all of the little bats, and then she glued them on the paper, and then she wrapped it in tape to hold the bats on. It's so cute. Anyway, and it's just marvelous. She made it's a huge. She made a box. It looks like this, and I'm not sure. Is this the new Graphic 45? I'm not sure, but she did that, and it's all sparkly. I probably should have done this on the overhead, but I wanted to do a face video, so because I dressed up and everything. So anyway, this, and then she made the box, and then she lined it to stiffen it up, and then I thought it was like a diorama, and I was looking at it, I said, that's so cool, we're gonna set it up, but it isn't. It's a card that she has, and she decorated the inside of the bottom of the box. I can just keep this forever, and I will. But it's there. Look, that's the front of the card, people. The front of the card. And this is like triple matted or double matted, and then the little stamp pieces there, and it's dimensional. And I don't know where she got this stuff. And then you open it up, and there it is. Have a frightfully good night. I don't have my glasses on. I need to get. Just wishing you and your hubby a spooktacular Halloween. It's paper, tape, and dyes. Not ink, not paper, tape, and ink. Paper, tape, and dyes. And look, down in there, she glued the spider web. I don't know if I'm showing it on the inside. It was so awesome, and I'm so proud of that. And I love it. I just want to pet it, Anyway, I got that. Okay, so I showed that, and I showed the purses that I'm making, and I've got the candy to put in them. The other day I went to Walmart, and I was trying to find black tissue paper, and all I could find was Hallmark, which was really expensive, like $3.49 for 8 sheets. I was like, no. So I went around the corner and found this. So I'm going to put a little black tissue paper in there and put the candy in there. And I'm hoping to get because I do have some that are brightly colored. Like, I'll probably go back and show them to you, but I wanted to, and I wanted to put a little book in them, and then, because can't do too heavy, and have that. And then, let's see, I think I'm just going to go back there and get that, getting dry, hang on, and then do another video of me being bad girl. Bad Pam. Bad Pam doesn't need anything because she's not working on anything, and bad Pam, just bad. Bad Pam. Mm-hmm. I will have to unearth my stuff back here. Hang on. You know my craziness. It knows no bounds, no limits. And they're Velcro. And some of the paper is double-sided and some of it is not. And then this one's really cool. I used a lot of my stuff. This one, oops. That one didn't stay together. Anyway, the purple. Oh, and that one didn't stay where it's supposed to. This one's got it's double-sided, it's got the pink, and that's what this book goes. Anyway, so I put it on there with, I had to go back and redo my Velcro, all of it to, with Fabric-Tech. Let's see. Okay, wait a minute, I got more. Not I have. See? And then this one. But wait, there's more. Don't you just love it when I walk away and it's just dead air? But then this one, that one didn't stay together. And I started to go in with these. They're silver, black, and white cobwebs. And I cut them into pieces and was putting them in the corner. And I said, this is going to take me forever. And I think that's whenever I got disillusioned. And then that one didn't stay together. Okay, put that together. Velcro together. And this one I did the silver. I don't know if you can see it or not. And I love these. These were Jolie, those little skeleton thing. And this one didn't stay together either. And then this one, I had the green spiders, but I didn't have any green spider ribbon, so I used the green cats, and it's fine. And then that's double-sided, and it's got that on it. I don't know if you can see. And I used the crows, and that's a Jolie's package of stuff. And that ribbon, I used all that ribbon, just about. But and this has got the glittery cobwebs, and that was from a sheet from Dollar Tree. So anyway, there. See, so I am doing something. I'm doing stuff. I don't know if you can even see it. I forgot to turn that light on. I should turn this one on. There. But I had, this is what I started doing. And it was great guns and gun ho and all that. And then I stopped. And then that was that. But I have to get back to it today. So I need to make 9 more of these. And I don't think I'm going to do any more decorating. I think that's where I started to get overwhelmed. Whenever I said, oh, I'm going to decorate them, put that stuff on it. That's where it kind of went downhill from there. Anyway, I'm going to do that today. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to end this video because I've done my health update and showed you what I'm trying to work on. And I'm going to come back and show you what a bad girl I've been. Okay? And it wasn't all at once. No, no, no. Rest assured, not all at once. I just kind of tiptoed. I tiptoed. And then all of a sudden I went and dove in. And, but I've been a good girl. I haven't really gone anywhere. And I think that depression's starting to creep back in because I'm not looking forward to, I have to have a stress test and an echocardiogram, and I don't want the stress test. It's a chemical stress test, but I still don't want it. It scares me. Anyway, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to come back and show you what a bad, bad girl I've been. Okay. Bye.